Welcome back to another trade review. Today's actually Saturday, so I'm going to be going over my trades that I took yesterday, Friday, February 21st. I took 3 trades in total. Unfortunately, yesterday was the worst day I've had, at least in a very long time. Took a 85% loss, so not quite a blown account, but pretty close. So I'm just going to get into the trade that I took. I did have one successful trade, but the losers outweighed that one successful trade. And I did some things that aren't usual for me to do. Maybe a little bit of emotions, not thinking straight, not paying enough attention, wasn't focused enough, and ultimately just made some bad decisions. So going into SPY, you can see in this 3-day trend here, really just what happened on Thursday, yesterday. There was a steep drop beginning of the day, pretty much right at open, and we actually recovered most of that drop. So essentially resulting in an open at lower than previous day, a lower high. So really right at where this bounced up is where yesterday opened up. Yesterday I was still able to take some profit despite being in a call, but I quickly basically hedged against myself and had a put, which still left me in the green at the end of the day. Had to be very careful, and I really should have paid more attention from what happened yesterday. I think there was a little bit of uncertainty with the news, but to me, I didn't see anything that was overly concerning or enough to make what, in my opinion, enough to make this steep drop of 11, well, I guess right here not $11, but as of right now about $11, which is a pretty large dollar amount when you're trading options, of course. But regardless, opened and did similar as Thursday, except as you can see, it passed right through this bottom that on Thursday and kept going lower. But what I was looking at, of course, was the 1-minute chart. Go to Friday. I really didn't have a bias specifically on Friday, but what I saw was a very steep drop in the beginning of the market. I didn't see really much of a test or testing any levels. So I got in pretty early, around 9:32, after this pretty steep drop pre-market, and really I was just looking for it to pop back up. I believe this gray line is relevant to pre-market. I'm gonna check and see because I don't exactly remember. I think it was actually market close. So if we're at 4 o'clock, yeah. So it closed at this level right here. Go back over there. Went right through, and I got in at 9:32. So as I was starting to see this tiny move, and I got in thinking, okay, looking for a retest up here, and maybe we'll move back down. But of course, that was way incorrect. Now, realistically, there was a very, very, very short amount of time that I was in the green, barely. And then it was just pretty much aggressive red after that. The 1 minute chart doesn't necessarily showcase that much, but it was no signs of trend reversal. What I paid too much attention to in the moment was the RSI being so oversold. Now, what happened pre-market was the RSI went from overbought right to oversold in pre-market. And there really wasn't too much of a drop here. So what that tells me right now, looking at this, and what I didn't see before, was there was that divergence, and the market was going to go in a downward direction, and that would have easily told me, or gave me a better clue as to what was about to happen. I didn't see that. I got in here seeing that it was oversold since around 9:26, so I got in 9:32, and just looking for a return back up pretty much at the 610 level, a little over 610, and it rapidly really started to drop after that. And the mistake I made, the biggest mistake, I think, flat out being incorrect, was for whatever reason I still question myself about it. I doubled up in the position. So I did not just leave the position like I should have. I strengthened my position, and it did. I was more in the green on QQQ. Again, another call because I got in a little bit later, and there was a slight move up. But then SPY and QQQ continued to do the same thing. As you can see, it's pretty obvious the downward trend that we have. We have just consistently down, up, down, up. It's pretty clear. And just continued to do that. I was confused because to me there really wasn't any news that was going to cause something super detrimental. If I was to say that I had a bias, which I really didn't, it was that we wouldn't see a big move up or down. But that was, of course, not the case. And just for reference, when I got in this position, still oversold as well, paying almost too much attention to the RSI and missing important things that it was telling me. So both of those trades I closed at the same time. At this point, I have a lot of different thoughts going through my head. just seeing that number go down, down, down. Why did I take this trade? When do I get out of it? I mean, I'm already lost so much. Do I just wait and hope it returns? Because it did return the previous day, but it did not. So over here is when I got in my put on QQQ. Basically just trying to hedge against my positions a little bit and noticing this move down, or this move down, and I held it through this move down, which I really, at that point, considering that my calls were so much in the red, I should have just held and could have actually made it somewhat of a decent amount. Of course, I made the contracts did kind of blow up on the puts and continued to, really. But it was too late. I typically would not double up on a position if I'm not in the green, even if I am in the green. Since I'm in and out so quickly, I'm usually not doubling up on the position. If anything, if I'm in a trade and I think it's going to continue, I will take profit and downsize my position so I can hold even longer. So bad decisions, things going on in life that resulted in me not thinking straight on the trade and not paying enough attention. I was doing good the past couple days, past couple weeks, actually, with my trading. Wasn't being careful enough. Should have closed that trade. I at least could have taken a loss, a much smaller loss, if I just set a better stop loss. Again, discipline, not setting the right stop loss. So definitely have already learned my mistakes on this one. And as much as I don't like to compare to other people or situations, the amount that I lost was something that to some people may be almost nothing. To some larger, more experienced traders. And I know that I'm not the only one that has taken a loss this large. And I know that there's people that have recovered from it. This time, it was almost as if I felt the least affected and the most affected at the same time. I think it was getting a feeling of kind of like reality setting in, but also I understood that it already happened and I have to stay collected and just have to kind of regroup. Of course, if anyone was in puts, pretty much any time throughout yesterday, you had a great profit. So it's something to keep in mind that there was an opportunity there and I was in the wrong part of it. Those two trades that I took, held them for much longer than I would ever really hold a 0 DTE trade. For an exact amount of time, I want to say about 4 hours. So from say 9:40-ish, 9:30-ish, a little bit after till about 1:30, which I closed both of those calls. 2 trades at once. Another mistake being in 2 trades at once. So a rough day for me overall. On Friday, definitely some adjustments that I really do need to to make. And really, just when I think about how I traded, I just did not feel like myself in that moment. I didn't feel in control, like I was in a mindset where I could make good decisions. I just wasn't there. And that was pretty much how my trading in Friday went. Luckily, I feel like I have mentally kind of regrouped just after yesterday and after today, Saturday. Just kind of understanding that there is a reality to it, but it's not the end of the world at all. I still do have a little bit of my account left, and I definitely know that I can build up. Again, it's not going to be detrimental to me, and I understand that I have to take accountability. I was the one who took the trades and held the trades too long, didn't set a stop loss, didn't use my indicators to enter the trade, and a couple other things. But those are definitely things that I can fix and things that I'll work on moving forward. It seems like we just had a large sell-off. There's some uncertainty right now in the news. Some scenarios, this move down may have not been super detrimental, but zero DTE options, that's the risk that you take. When the strike prices are, each dollar, and you have a $10 move down, if you're betting, or have I guess betting wouldn't be the proper word, but if you are guessing or expecting it to move a certain way and it moves the opposite way, and it doesn't only move the opposite way, it moves the opposite way in a big move, you're going to see a lot of loss, which is exactly what I saw. We really were oversold for pretty much the whole day. So this move was pretty much the whole day of the market. Just barely came up here. It's going to be the same thing on QQQ. And really, I'm just using RSI as a reference as to just what the conditions were like. Pretty much all sellers. There's really, looking at the 15-minute on QQQ, we had one bounce up, and that was it. On SPY on the 15, gonna look the same. Even broke below that 600, which is pretty big. My levels didn't do too much assistance on this. And here's where we are on the weeklies, just a massive dump down. And really just misreading what the market is doing. Looking on the weekly, I'm looking at this kind of more live now, but I really haven't gone through this too much, but you can see we have a move up, higher low, and we have another higher low, and then we hit this high, and then the next day we have that lower low. So really this trend got broke. Looking at it now makes me think, okay, then there is a possibility for a lower low beyond this, which it did happen. But if I'm kind of looking at a perspective of, before all of this happened, being very careful about where it's going to basically retest, but it had signified that the trend was pretty much broken, And when there's uncertainty, there's definitely going to be more sellers. This is a lesson I've learned as well. You're not going to have people that are entering the market due to uncertainty buyers. If anything, it's going to be once there's a little bit more traction and they're trying to take advantage of the low price. But we'll have to see if that does occur or that just continues to be a move down. It can be a difficult thing with news. This has been a difficult market to trade overall. I've seen consolidation, but at the same time, also huge swings. For the most part, down, but up as well. About a little bit of both. So really just have to make some adjustments mentally into my system. I just have to follow it as well. Very, very important day for me, taking a loss like that. But that's it for the trade review. This is a very long video compared to what I'm used to. But I think it's very important to address, and not necessarily a video I want to make, but a video I think I need to make. And we'll look forward to the next week, moving on, moving forward, better things to come. And that's it for this trading review.